Good morning.
Hello, good morning. It must be Wednesday.
Yes. Man Wednesday. Man Friday is converted into Man Wednesday.
Oh, you do it good any day. It doesn't really matter,
Thank
Craig,
you.
does it?
It's a really exciting morning show. And Lisa, actually, who's our guest for today's Special Value, said to me, you all look very posh this morning.
Well,
I said, well, it's good with good reason.
Well, it's with good reason, and exactly, very special guest. And also, in terms of the dress that I'm wearing, brand new range that we're showing you on Morning Style at 10 o'clock, which is great news. But, you know, 10 o'clock is a long time away when you think about what we have got on the morning show.
And we've got this coming up later on. In about 10 minutes' time, I'm going to be talking to the one and only Michelle Collins. I've just about come back down to planet Earth, that she's actually here next to me.
No, you're nowhere near planet Earth, Craig.
Kind of. This is 703-405. It is new today on QVC. It's Michelle's first autobiography. It's called This Is Me, and it's a hardback book for £15.92. This is me. This is her. She's here.
Hello.
Welcome to QVC.
Thank you.
And of course, you're in the middle of the book tour at the moment, so it's busy times at the moment for you, isn't it?
It is a little bit mad. Yes, yes. I just about got here today. Yes.
But I think
your life is sort of, when you read the book, you realise that you've had this incredible energy, and there's
quite eventful, isn't it?
There's never a quiet moment.
Oh, there definitely is. There still isn't a quiet moment, but you only live once, don't you?
Well, exactly.
So...
And I have to say, one of the things I think this is so indicative of your personality. Look at that wonderful signature that you're getting in the book. I don't think we've ever had such an exuberant autograph.
Oh, really? My daughter's got that signature. Obviously, she's got a different name, but she's got a very big signature.
I love it.
Well.
It's, you know, it's I was here and read my story, and you'll be drawn into it. And there's so much going on, and so much we didn't know about you, Michelle.
Yes, well, I hope so. That was the sort of idea, I think, and it sort of was about the right time. I'm turned 50, and I think that's a good age to write an autobiography.
Yeah, well, we'll be finding out more. I'll be chatting to Michelle.
Mine's well overdue, then.
in about 10 minutes, so delighted that Michelle's here. And that's coming up. You can order the book straight away if you'd like to, but of course, if you're looking forward to finding out a bit more from Michelle, stay where you are.
Absolutely. Now, we need to talk. I'll be showing how to eat it, but I might have to help you.
Yes. We'll both do a good job at that, I can promise you. And then, of course, actually, if you wanted to take, maybe you wanted to pack the leftover meats, cold meats, cheeses for a day in the park, you could take your
or indeed maybe a hot meal that you've cooked for your parents and you're heading over and you don't want to use their kitchen, but you want to give them a good meal. Whatever it is, hot or cold, this is going to help, isn't it?
I thought this is a perfect way to take all those beautiful meats and carry with if you're going to be maybe doing a potluck or sharing in a meal. It's from Saatchi, which is a great insulated bag, been ever so popular here at QVC. And what it is 2-in-1. So you've got an outside tote, you've got an inside insulated tote. You can separate them, use together, snap together, and we've got 4 colorways, so 4 color choices, been ever so popular today.
And the fabric of the tote is like a canvas. It's really nice.
It's soft, and you know, it's all recycled material, so it's environmentally sound, beautiful, you know, food standard, EU food standard on the inside, insulated on one, and then the other one, when you just have to pick up those incidentals, you can carry it with you every day and then do a full shopping in the evening if you want to on your way home.
Certainly makes sense, and especially when you see that price, £15.80, and you're getting both bags, of course, one of which is insulated. Just showing you the other colours, you've got the blue polka dot, that's confetti, so you get the bright pink bag, and that's chevron. That's quite a stylish look, isn't it, as well?
Should we warn Michelle that once at QVC you end up spending a fortune? Because I can see you eyeing those bags already, thinking, oh yeah, you start thinking about how you're going to use them.
Put a dog in there.
And of course, before all of that, we've got the morning show competition.
Yes, £50 of our money could be in your account later on today if you get the question right. But first of all, you have to let us know that you want to take part, and I suppose we better show you the questions so that you know whether you're going to be able to get it right or not. We've had some really quite entertaining questions lately.
That's one way of saying it.
So, right, OK, this might involve a little bit of singing from you, Craig.
Yay!
Which song by the Beatles was originally titled Scrambled Eggs?
Okay.
Was it
A?
A?
Love, love me do.
Or was it B?
Oh, yesterday.
Or was it C?
Oh, my... Oh. What's the key? Let it be. Let it be.
In fact, why am I getting you to sing when Michelle
I know! Actually, that's a very good point, actually.
So that's why I'm not a singer anymore.
Anyway, you might have to Google that one. I'm not sure if that's going to be general knowledge for anyone. Well, throwing now to a very big interview.
Yeah, looking forward to Liz Earle at 1 o'clock with Caroline. Also looking forward to, in a matter of moments, talking to Michelle Collins about her first autobiography. It's called This Is Me, and we'll find out more from Michelle in a couple of minutes. That was really funny. That actually, as Caroline from Liz Earle was leaving, Michelle was just saying, "I love cleansing polish," because that's a cleanser that Michelle uses well. So it's a small world. Let me give you the details for this book. We're going to talk to Michelle, but if you want to order, whenever you're ready, this is what you need to do. It's 703 405. It is new today on QVC. Of course, it's a brand new book. It's the first time Michelle has written an autobiography. This Is Me. It's a signed hardback book for $15.93. The postage is included. Call now, we'll get you this in a matter of days. Your perfect summer read. If you're going away for a weekend or you've got your holiday planned, this is perfect. And here she is in person.
Hello,
it's so
some
good
great
to meet
pictures.
You. Oh, the pictures
that
fab,
no one's
they?
ever seen before.
Yeah.
Taken from my camera. Oh, some really old EastEnders photos here. That's me when I first arrived in Walford.
There you
on
go.
My
Hold that nice and still.
Bike.
Look.
Where's that? There you go.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, careful.
The rock chick. The rock chick turns up. Now, the reason I was saying before that I was sort of starstruck meeting you this morning is that you, for many of us, you have been in our lives a massive chunk of our lives.
Yes, I'm quite
so
old,
we
Craig,
feel
thank
like
you very much.
no, I didn't mean it that way. But you know what I mean. So we all feel like we know you.
Yes.
But actually, we know you from the characters you play. Then we know you from what's written in the papers. We think this is really how we get to know you, isn't it?
Yeah, I hope so. That's why I thought, you know, it was... I was asked to do an autobiography years ago. I've been asked quite a few times, and I've always said no. And then suddenly I sort of hit 50 and knew I was leaving Corrie, and I thought, well, actually, you know, in fact, we were going to call it From Walford to Weatherfield, because obviously I've gone sort of full circle, but I thought, actually, that doesn't just define my life. But because I have been in two of the most major soaps, I thought maybe it is quite a good time to talk about. But there's 16 years of other things in between Walford and Weatherfield. So that's what a lot of this is about as well, which people tend to forget about, I think, when you've been known as a bit of a... Apparently, I'm a soap queen. but you know, there's lots of other work which I'm very, very proud of, which and also, you know, I was a pop singer. Yeah, well, that's how you...
I didn't know that. That's actually what you did before you got into sort of big acting shows and dramas and things, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, so...
were you one of the Coconuts?
No, I did play one of the Coconuts. I shared a dressing room with Kid Crew on the Coconuts.
Right.
I was with a band called Mary Wilson and the Wilsatians.
Okay.
And there were 9 guys and 3 girls. But we did share a dressing room, and there were a lot of Coconuts, I can tell you. There was about 35 of us in a dressing room that was for about 6 people at Dingwalls in the 80s.
Wow.
So there's lots of stories when I played in the band. I was a TV presenter as well, Craig.
Yes, I think
that chapter is called...
There you are, in fact, there we are. Look, there's Michelle.
With Jason Donovan.
When you were presenting The Word.
I've named... that chapter is called The World's Worst TV Presenter. So a lot of people don't know. I was on a programme called The Word, and it was part of youth TV, and it was quite naughty and very outrageous.
It was on a Friday night at about 11 o'clock at night,
and everyone was drunk when they watched it. It was one of those, come home from the pub and let's all watch The Word, and it'd be really outrageous. And but, I mean, it was interesting. It was an interesting time. I only did it for about 3 or 4 months, and I got to go to America and interview lots of big pop stars, and so it was interesting.
One thing I got from sort of looking over the book is I think most of us know to succeed in the world of entertainment...
My little girl who's now nearly 18.
Yeah, no, listen, we'll move... Let's talk about Maya now, actually, because hasn't she already started showing an interest in actually doing some acting?
Well, she sort of did, but now she's decided she wants to go to uni, which I'm quite pleased about, actually.
Yes.
I'm quite pleased, so I'd rather her go to uni, get a good education first, and then decide.
In actual fact, talking of Mike, can I just show you, this is my favourite photo in the whole book. Look at that. All the Collins ladies.
The Collins women. Beware of the Collins women.
Isn't that a fantastic photo? And I believe one thing we have in common, Michelle, we both have a Welsh mum.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, there's my mum, Mary. She's from Pontypridd, just outside Cardiff. Where's yours from?
Swansea, Mumbles.
Ah, OK. Oh, lovely.
So do you have a lot to do with that sort of side of your life?
No, unfortunately, most of our... My mum moved to London when they were quite young, so most of our Welsh side has gone.
Yes.
I did do the Welsh... there's a Welsh version of Who Do You Think You Are, which is called Coming Home, and I did go back and do that, and we found out that, it's sort of in the book, that my grandfather was a Belgian refugee. Came over from Antwerp just before just after the First World War, which is really interesting.
And of course, if we go right back to the beginning, because you were born in Hackney, so you're a true, like when you ended up in EastEnders, you are a true East End girl. I mean, obviously Hackney now has changed.
Well, I suppose I'm a real
so
Cockney, because I think you're Cockney if you're born within the sound of the
Bow
Bow
Bells. That's
I was born in Hackney. I never actually lived in Hackney. I lived in Islington.
Right.
So that's where this starts. And I really enjoyed that part of it, actually, about growing up in Islington, growing up in the 60s and 70s, you know, in the 70s. It's a bit like if you've ever seen Billy Elliot, the 3-day week, and, you know, power cuts, lots of rubbish on the streets, going to the local restaurant because we didn't have any electricity and we didn't have to do our homework. Paying Daniel Painter 50p to have a go on his chopper, because we didn't have a chopper. A chopper is a bike.
Yeah, I had a chopper.
Did you?
I had a chopper. Well, I'm a 70s kid.
You were better off than I was. We couldn't afford a chopper when I was a kid.
Yeah, well, I think it was after many Christmases of wanting. And also, what's interesting, in order to succeed in the world of entertainment, you've got to be tough. But what I hadn't realised is actually to get into drama school back then, you had to knock on a lot of doors. You were really determined, weren't you?
Well, I actually got turned down by every single drama school going, and it was very expensive. I think it was about, in those days, it's probably the equivalent of £100 or something. It was like 25 quid, and I auditioned for about 10 of them, and I didn't get in anywhere. I got one recall for Central, but I decided not to give up. In fact, it made me more angry, and so I was more determined to go and do it. And then I did lots of fringe work and got involved with the band, got my equity card, and I did got myself an agent with, it was a co-op, an actors co-op. They set up these agencies, and it's all in the book. Tim Roth, and that's where I met Tim Roth, who helped me get into the agency. And I did my first TV with Gary Oldman, and that's in the book as well, yes.
And then, of course, EastEnders, you were spotted for EastEnders in 1988.
Yes. 4 years after it started.
How did that then change where you went? Because I must admit, I don't really watch soaps. The only time I ever watched EastEnders was for Cindy Beale.
Really?
I love that character.
Did you love to hate her?
Well, no, I just loved her.
Well, originally I went up for EastEnders when it first started. It was called E8. And I went up for the role of Punk Mary. I didn't get that, forgot all about it. And then I'd been in a drama, and I was recommended by the writer of this drama to Julia Smith, who was a bit of a scary character, who was the creator of EastEnders, and I went to meet her. And basically, she told me about the role of Cindy and everything, and said, well, do you want to do it? And it was 11 episodes, and I said, yeah, all right. And she said, do you want to go down and meet everyone? And I was like, no, I can't do that. It's too scary. And I also lied and said I could ride a motorbike, and I couldn't ride a motorbike. And they got a motorbike for me the first day I started, and I nearly ran over Letitia Dean and Susan Tully. So eventually they got rid of the bike. That's where the Walford bike came from, you see. So yes, I loved it so much that I ended up staying 10 years, in fact.
Wow.
From 88 to 98.
My goodness. So listen, this is, I mean, it's all in here. This is the first autobiography that Michelle's ever written. It's called This Is Me. Give us a buzz now. I mean, I just think, if you're someone who, like me, you've seen Michelle in EastEnders, I was obsessed with Sunburn that you were in.
This is 2000 Acres of Sky. This was a very popular series
for
BBC One with Paul Kay there. And I spent 3 years. And
were you up in Scotland filming that?
Yeah, we were up there for three summers, for about 4 months of the year. I loved doing that job. The thing is, at the time, you don't appreciate it, do you?
Yeah,
you just want to come home. And that's my niece, who played my little girl, who is now 22.
Wow.
Charlotte, yeah.
I mean, you've had such... And I think also what a lot of people don't know, you mentioned the presenter on the road, you mentioned singing. Also, of course, you were in the musical Daddy Cool in the West End.
In the West End, yes.
So of all this
Ma Baker.
I mean, you've had such an incredible, varied career as an actor and as a singer. Are there highlights that you think, oh, I wish I could go back to that time and do that again?
Probably 2000 Acres of Sky, actually.
Really?
I did love doing that, yes.
Yeah.
We were on a sort of small island and on the west coast of Scotland, and that was really beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, I've had some great opportunities. I did a few trips with Oxfam, actually. I went to Kenya, and this is a young girls' orphanage just outside of Nairobi I went to. This is with an Indian chief I met in Brazil.
Wow.
This is Glastonbury. I went with Oxfam up to Glastonbury. That was amazing, in front of something like 300,000 people. That's with Tony Blair, a petition I took.
That's incredible.
That's a selfie with Maya and I, and that's Sue Johnson and Jane Danson, my lovely choreographer.
I mean, we're almost out of time, but I guess just to quickly also say as well that you have had darker moments, and you talk about them very frankly and very honestly in the book. And actually, I just think if that would also be quite comforting and maybe inspirational to other people who are the women, especially who go through.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, there's a few. I decided I didn't want to talk about men too much, but there's a few. I have to talk about my daughter's dad, and there's a few moments when I was quite low, and I think, you know, as a single mum, I had a new job. I think my self-esteem was quite low, and I think, you know, everyone crashes and burns.
Of course.
I think we can't always be superwomen all the time, and I've talked about it for the first time in that book.
Yeah.
And I think it was good to have closure on it, really, and not feel embarrassed about talking about that sort of thing.
Well, I mean, I'm so delighted to meet you, and we're so happy to have the book here.
Oh, thank
Michelle's
you
in
for
the middle
having
of a book tour at the moment. You'll see her on Loose Women as well later on today.
Yes, yes.
So make sure you tune into that, and thank you so much for coming to QVC. Absolutely wonderful.
Now you've said that, I'm going to have to change my dress, Craig, aren't I, for Loose Women? Thank you for having me.
Really nice to meet you.
Can I just say, fundamentally, it's quite an up book. It's a very up book.
Oh,
it's quite
absolutely.
life-affirming. You know, there are darker
Absolutely.
moments, but it's all part of the journey, I think. So
absolutely.
I hope people enjoy
I think you'll really enjoy reading that, and perfect summer read, or maybe the weekend away, or you just want to get to know Michelle better. 703-405 is your item number. Michelle Collins, This Is Me, a signed hardback book for £15.93, and the postage is included. And there she is, looking beautiful on the front cover, as she is here in person. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
All right, let's remind you about today's special value. Lisa Patton will be coming up later on. This is a way for you